Welcome back. One man is using basketball to positively influence Bronx children. Andrew Curiel, founder of BU Stay True, joins us to discuss his program and summer camp. Andrew, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Appreciate it.
Now, can you tell me about your program, BU Stay True?
Yeah, absolutely. So BU Stay True is a nonprofit program that we've created here in the Bronx to benefit boys and girls ages 6 to 14 and provide them with low cost basketball camps. I initially started this because when I was growing up in the Bronx, my mother couldn't afford to put me in the best AAU programs or best camps throughout the summer. So I wanted to create an alternative for kids to just have fun and be themselves. Throughout the time at the camp, what we do is we teach kids how to be themselves, but we also promote character building and leadership, not to be a follower, those type of things directly from the coaches. And the way that we do it is through basketball.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about the origin of this camp? How did it begin?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now I'm at my alma mater. I'm at the College of Mount St. Vincent, which is located in the top northwest section of Riverdale. And for me, it actually started right here as well, in one of the dorms called Mastronardi Hall. I was living with my roommate, Nico Zeno, and he was on the game. I was on Instagram, and I literally saw one of my friends starting up a step camp. And I was like, Nico, we could do this. Like, we could actually start a camp because we're NCAA athletes. Like, we played basketball in a collegiate level. So for us, it was just about getting our name out there, creating a mission, creating a brand. And I was literally in that room just creating things. When we initially came up with the name, we were supposed to be Summer Fun Basketball Clinic. And I thank God that we didn't end up going with that. We changed over to BU Stay True because of my pastor. When I was growing up, he was always motivating me to be myself. So he would always say, "Who are you? Be you, be Drew." And it kind of rang with me. And I was like, all right, BU Stay True. That's how we're going to do it.
Now, was it difficult or challenging? I think that, so many people have great ideas, but a lot of people don't get to see that actually come to fruition. So, was it challenging to get this off the ground?
Not as much challenging because I just finished up my freshman year of college. So I had a lot of time from like May 18th to the first day of camp, which was like July 12th. I had 2 months to just be at home and just work on this, create it, develop the website, develop the t-shirt sales. What was so cool, and I give a lot of credit to Mount St. Vincent, was I was learning everything in my business classes and I was directly applying it to the creation of BU Stay True. I was in principles of marketing. I was in principles of management. And I was trying to take those lessons I was learning and use them in every day throughout BU Stay True. So creating the logo, creating the t-shirts, learning about profit and loss, learning about fundraising, how to benefit the kids with the funds that we raise to buy trophies, certificates, things like that. So I wouldn't say it was too hard because I had the support of Nico and we were so driven that since we were home, not working or doing anything, we had all this time to dedicate to this new mission that we were about to build.
Now, what led you on the path of positively influencing and promoting character building in children?
I've been so fortunate throughout my time growing up in the Bronx. I'm a Bronx native. I'm 26 years old. I grew up in Parkchester. Now I reside in Co-op City with my mom. And so many people were willing to help me along the way, from my pastor to coaches to friends to other family members, to make sure I was on a direct path to be successful. And when I look back at my life, if it wasn't for those certain type of people, I don't know where I would be. And the one quality that are in all of those people is leadership. And I know that's such a big thing that we're trying to develop into our young people and into grown adults as well. Continue to be a leader in whatever place that you take up, whether it's school, a team, a workplace. And that's what we want to continue to build into our people, because we know, being from the Bronx, we're so strong. We can do a lot. But with those leadership skills, we're just hoping that these kids learn it, apply it to their lives, and hopefully become leaders of their own to move forward.
Now, I think it's really cool that you chose a sport to kind of focus on as opposed to, and these summer camps are great, but they kind of generally just focus on, general summer activities. Why did you choose basketball as your way to connect to these kids?
It's authentic. It's authentic. It's how I develop friendships. It's how I learned about different people throughout the community. And I knew in a basketball setting, it's so easy to make friends because you have to work with other people. In order to pass a ball, you need a partner. In order to get your rebound after a shot, you need someone to rebound for you. And in order to learn leadership skills, you got to be among other leaders, whether they're coaches or other students there as well. So basketball was always natural for me. And I knew it's a natural medium to connect with kids, because if we're having fun, kids are going to be inclined to learn without them even really knowing. So the really cool part is seeing all the coaches get involved, seeing the kids learn, but then also seeing the kids apply that to the younger kids at camp. And right there, over the span of 2 days, we're already seeing the leadership skills being built in those children.
Now, I think for a lot of people, they don't necessarily think of sports as a way, for character building. They usually think it's just like an activity to keep you physical, but how does it actually support your growth and, how does it promote positive qualities in children?
Yeah, I think from the physical aspect directly is you're moving, right? You're running up and down that court, you're shooting, you're doing different layups. And what I like about basketball specifically is that it's a stop and go sport. So it's like you could be going for 4 straight minutes, but then you have to have a timeout and you have to reset and you have to refocus. I love the substitution aspect. You can sub in and out whenever you want. So learning a lot of different things, and I just thought about this one as well, even ego, right? We may think we're the best player, but sometimes the best player needs a break to get even better, to get that rest and to come back stronger. So it teaches kids a lot. It also teaches kids about sharing as well. Hey, you may not have to take every shot. Share the ball with someone who may be looking for a shot, but might be a little scared to do it. I think it also teaches children how to just be confident as well. Hey, you have worked on something for an entire day. Here's the second day of camp. Time to show out, show everything that you learned. Why not try it? And what I like about it as well is our kids and our coaches, we give that confidence to our kids too through sports. They can see the immediate kind of like lesson when they learn something, they shoot a basket and they're like, wow, what you just taught me just worked. So I think that's another positive aspect as well through the basketball medium.
Now, I think it's really cool that it's not just a learning opportunity for children. You also give opportunities to college students, and they can become volunteers. Can you tell me more about this?
Yeah, absolutely. It's become something kind of natural throughout my time here at Mount St. Vincent. I was very fortunate this past year to have two student interns within the Office of Admission where I work at now, one in the fall and one in the spring. And another student reached out to me. She was like, hey, I want to intern with BU Stay True. I heard about you through Professor Rosenberg, who was my professor for marketing. And I was like, I never thought about it, but let's try it. And what was so funny was she told me straight off the bat that she wants to learn about the business side of nonprofits, how we raise money, and also help the kids through the money that we raise and what else goes into the nonprofit work. So the cool aspect about that is she's gaining 3 credits because of this. And my past interns as well, they gained 3 credits. So instead of sitting in a class, whether it's an elective or core class, they're gaining credit through experience. And that's the most important thing. I'm sure you know as well. Gaining that experience during your college years so that when you go apply for these jobs, they see, all right, you don't just have a degree, but you have experience in this field. Now we can throw you into the fire and see how you do. Also, the volunteer aspect has been great. We have 3 other students. So we have Liana, Joseph, and Neo, which are current freshmen and sophomores. To a degree, I've recruited them here to the College of Mount St. Vincent. So I've seen their journey. I've spoke with their parents. I know their families. And I've seen each of them here at Mount St. Vincent thrive, whether it's a sport, a club, or an international group. It's been great to see them thrive and really live the mission of BU Stay True. So when I asked them, it was kind of like a natural connection. They were so down to be able to help and volunteer.
Now, can you explain the importance of having this program available to kids in the Bronx?
Yeah, super. We see programs all the time within New York City or New York State. A lot of our kids in the Bronx are leaving the Bronx because they have to go to quote unquote better programs upstate or in Long Island or anywhere else. I want to create an equitable type of environment for our kids to also experience basketball in a positive sense, but also experience that at a very lower cost sense in comparison to other programs. Like I said, we used to be free, but then we had to change our mindset and develop a cost for the people to be a part because we wanted to get them better things. We wanted to get them trophies. We wanted to get them certificates, better T-shirts. This is our first year having dry fit T-shirts in comparison to cotton, having better signage, things like this. And what I like about it as well is that although we have raised our price and our cost, people have still stayed true to the mission and still have stayed supporting us. Ultimately, all of our coaches, including myself and Nico, we live this mission every day of our lives, being us, staying true to who we are. And I think that's the bigger mission of what BU Stay True is. We're just using basketball as a medium, but ultimately, we want to motivate everyone from parents to kids to adults to be themselves in every space that they take up and to stay true to who they are.
Now, based on the program and the idea that it's sports, although it's open to everyone, I know that you probably get a lot of young boys and young men joining. How does that influence the work you do, especially being, a young male from the Bronx?
Yeah, huge. I was on another podcast earlier this year called 40 Central out in East Tremont, and we talked about it. Like, we are the example for our youth. So we have to be in these spaces, having these conversations, but also setting the example, authentically being ourselves, so that others, young boys, young men, see us and be like, oh snap, Drew's doing that, or oh snap, James is doing that. I can do that too. I never want to brag about my accomplishments. I've come up from all the work that I've done, but I want to show other people too. It's okay to work hard. It's okay to have a payoff. But most importantly, it's okay to be yourself throughout the journey. You shouldn't compromise your authenticity for anyone or any place. But just being yourself is such a strong kind of like avenue to have because it can help you in all the places that you take up, whether it may be a basketball court, a job, or even school.
Now, this sounds like a really amazing program. What are the requirements for joining?
Good question. Really, when I think about it, there's no just. I want kids to have fun throughout the summer. I know they may be off from school, or they may be staying home while parents are going to work, or they may be in a summer program where it's just school based. But come out for a fun-filled weekend of hoops, learning from college athletes, former pro athletes as well, and also just getting a good workout in as well. We've been cooped up for the last couple of years, and I just want students to come out to College of Mount St. Vincent, see this beautiful campus that we have right here in the Bronx, right on the Hudson River. And I also want them to experience a fun day of basketball, learning from athletes, learning from coaches that have played their entire lives and want to give back. Genuinely, all of my coaches want to give back. None of us are getting paid. We just want to have a good time and hang out with kids playing basketball.
Now, how can people get in contact with you and learn more about the program?
Absolutely. So 100% visit us on our website, www.bustaytrueprogram.com. Also connect with us on Instagram at bustaytrue_. If you want to get in contact with me, my Instagram is Drewski with 1 underscore.
All right, Andrew, thank you so much for joining me.
No worries. Thank you so much.
All right, that's all for our show today. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Kibin Alleyne, wishing you and your safety and wellness now and always. See you next time.